Everybody, rock your body. So much vibrato in that song. Hey everybody, it's Jalen and I'm back again, and today we are talking about Swarm. Y'all, we're gonna talk about all of it. So get some popcorn, get some tea, get some lotion for your knees. I loved this show. I loved the weirdness. I loved the soundtrack. And most of all, I loved Domonique Fishback's acting. When I tell you that girl went in, she went in. She had the tears crying. She had the haircuts. She had the costumes going. That woman went in. Props to Domonique Fishback. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I was hearing that she was in a lot of stuff, and I was like, what's the hype? So I was watching, and I was like, why her? Why does everyone love her? And when I tell you, this woman got me in the first 2 minutes of the show. I loved how refreshing this show was. It just was so new. I never knew what was going to happen. I never knew what to expect. It just was always keeping me off my rocker. Y'all know I'm a sucker for new things. So anything that isn't the same 7 storylines, I'm down for it. Especially because they're black, I'm all for it. So props to Donald Glover and Janine Nabirs. I think that's how you say her name. They did that. I fell in love with this show. And just shout out to all the writers out there. We need more stories like this. Like, I love seeing weird misadventures of black people. Let's talk about Chloe Bailey. Every girl who I have talked to has been like, it's a no on Chloe Bailey for me. But I'm like, I don't get it. Every time I talk to somebody, they're like, she's just trying too hard. I saw the sex scene, and it wasn't that big of a deal to me. It wasn't like crazy, like, that disgusting Chloe Bailey. But it just seems like girls be hating on her. I don't know what y'all think about that. Y'all put in the comments. How are we feeling Chloe Bailey? Or are we not feeling Chloe Bailey? I think she's a beautiful woman. It just feels as though girls are saying that she's trying too hard. And I don't see it. But maybe she is. Domonique Fishback, she's doing all this good character work. And something that I really appreciated about her character was that it was very childlike. Like, there was something disturbing happening in her psychology. And that is so real in the black community. It's so real to have traumas in there that affect the way that we're behaving today. Like, there's a moment where she's staring at them having sex, and it's like, oh, this is weird and disturbing, but that's real. Marissa's boyfriend says something like, oh, I know you're a virgin, aren't you? And it's because, yeah, that'd be real. That'd be real. Those are real life scenarios. People who have had a trauma in childhood and can't move forward and can't mature spiritually and sexually and just mentally. So let's talk about the Beehive real quick. So the character Nyjah, who is so obviously Beyonce, and like, they're not even trying to hide it. And I'm looking at the writer a little side eye because when they were promoting the show, they were like, oh yeah, that's not about Beyonce. But I'm like, y'all just saying that so we don't get sued? Like, what's really going on here? I loved how a lot of like celebrity worship is addressed in this show. It's like, this woman is out here literally killing people over this artist. And it's sad because a lot of these fans do drop people's locations. A lot of these fans do look up where people live just because they said something not so flattering about their artist. And that's really scary. It was even funny because they referenced The Bite, like Dre, Domonique Fishback's character, actually meets or gets in the vicinity of Nyjah, and she's like eating a plum, and then she actually bites Nyjah, which was so funny because when she runs out, the 2 people smoking a cigarette, they're like, yeah, that's the girl, that's Sanaa Lathan, the chick from That's the chick from Love and Basketball. Because y'all know when the whole Who Bit Beyonce thing came out, everybody was like, is it Sanaa Lathan? Because Tiffany Haddish had blabbed and said Sanaa Lathan. So I thought that was really funny. I love the adventures and the characters in this show. It seemed as though every time she would meet a new character, that was another obstacle in her journey of getting in the way of like meeting Nija. We had people like Paris Jackson. And it was crazy because Paris Jackson actually commented on like blackness in the community. Like everybody wants to be black till it's time to be black. So she has this line where it's like, yeah, my dad's half black. And Dre's like, you're black? And shout out to Paris Jackson. She was actually really good as an actress. And watching Dre shoot her, that was crazy. So shout out to Paris Jackson. Thank you for stopping by. The strippers in that same episode were so funny. Like every time something dramatic or like crazy was happening, they would be right there in the background doing something silly and crazy. And it's actually when Dre's about to kill one of her victims, the strippers are like talking about bring it. And it's so funny because they have these little moments, and then Dre's actually about to kill the guy. He flips the tables, about to kill her, and the strippers come. And that was the first time where I actually thought like, wait, is the show about to be over? Is Dre about to die? Like she was getting strangled. And the strippers come and save her and shoot the guy. And then Dre actually leaves the strippers by themselves. I love stuff like that because it's like Dre is going through this world and the characters are actually affecting her. Billie Eilish makes an appearance, and I thought Billie Eilish's character was so creepy, y'all. And Billie Eilish, that was some great acting. I thought they were like a bunch of witches. And I'm like, y'all should have left Dre alone. Y'all should have left that girl alone because she came in and she thought she was good. They were going to help her get to Nija. Turns out they just wanted her to be a part of their cult. Cut. And it was crazy because there was a moment where it was like, y'all don't even care if she's a murderer. Y'all still want her a part of the cult. Like Billie Eilish is doing like this like get out thing where she's like hypnotizing Dre and trying to get the truth out of her. And I'm like, oh, she's trying to get the truth out of her so she can defend her cult thing, right? Nah, she's really trying to get the truth out of her so she can absorb into the cult more. Billie Eilish in the cult women, that was definitely insane. And then after Dre kills the leader, Billie Eilish, one lady, they're all like trying to attack her, and one lady gets on the car, and then there's this disturbing scene where Dre stops the car. The woman falls in front, and she just beats her to death with the what's them tire things? Just beats her to death, and I'm like, that's another thing about this show. The murders were so disturbing. Like there was a bunch of times where I was like, ooh, I think I need to stop watching for a second just to breathe. I just need to like breathe right now. It was a lot of blunt trauma death. I really love the episode where Dre goes back to Marissa's house. And for the whole show, we didn't really know if Marissa and Dre were just friends, if they were really sisters or what. But just to hear her backstory and all the traumas that she might have gone through, because we never really get like exactly what happened to Dre. Like we hear about the grandmother and the dropping the milk, and maybe she may have like killed somebody because the milk was red. But she was in foster care. And so hearing that her parents had adopted her and instantly regretted it, that was heartbreaking to know that she was shunned, and like during birthday parties she had to go up to the attic. It was really horrifying to know like just how lonely that girl actually was. It was interesting to see how quickly the father specifically was trying to throw Dre away. And it was sad watching him with the shotgun trying to shoot at her and seeing just how hurt by the whole family situation she was. And with an upbringing like that, you can see why she goes around murdering people, because she didn't get a lot of love growing up. The last story that really just like affected me was the whole Rashida situation. And I don't know the actress name, Kiersey. That woman looked good. She was so beautiful. And so I thought it was going to be like a happy ending for them. Also, Dominique cutting her hair. I wonder if she really cut her hair for the role. But it seemed as though like she just really took that character to a different place. So they're feeling each other, and she's taking her to meet her mama. It's Cree Summer. Everybody loves Cree Summer, the black voices of our childhood. And seeing how she is being accepted into this family and how she could actually like settle down somewhere, right, is instantly disrupted, because it's like you don't have a credit card, you don't have a phone, you really can't be in this lifestyle. I thought that was going to be the end of the story, just like Dre on the run, but she surprises Rashida with these Niger tickets. And at first it's like, oh, like they're going to go see the show together. Rashida hates Niger. It's so disturbing because it's like, how could you be in a relationship for an entire year and not have that clear? Like, it goes back to the mental, the psychological horror of it all. Like, how does this not computing? Rashida goes off, and I don't know what Dre's gonna do next. Dre comes up to her and starts grabbing her neck, and I'm like, oh crap, not Rashida. Murders Rashida. That solidified it for me. Like, Domonique Fishback is an amazing actress, because that scene was so hard to watch. To watch someone you love just become your worst enemy. That was heartbreaking. Well, I also wanna, because I almost forgot, I hated the detective lady. Not hated her, but I just did not like her acting, y'all. It was like supposed to be cheesy, but it wasn't cheesy. Like, it just wasn't working for me. But I loved how like a black woman figured out that another black woman was actually the serial killer. Going back to the Rashida murder, after the murder, Dre goes to the concert but cannot get in without the tickets, because she left the tickets with Rashida. So she tries to buy it, and she's like, oh yeah, well, what's your name? How did you buy the tickets? Rashida Jones. Oh, just need your identification. Doesn't have identification. So then tries to, there's someone selling tickets, and he's like, oh, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you. They go into his car to, do the transaction. She murders him. She shanked him right there. And there was like a dark comedy to all the murders, but it seems as though in this episode, every murder is just like not, it's just not funny. It's like, yeah, this is murder. Dre is finally watching the Niger concert, and I noticed that every time she tried to watch the concert, even back with Marissa, even back with the Billie Eilish cult, even back with Rashida, every time she tried to watch it, she just never got to it. But this time, she is able to watch the concert, and she runs on stage. She pushes past everybody. She runs on stage. And there's this moment where it's like, no, Nyjah, Nyjah, I love you. She's crying. The cops got her. And you hear her say, wait. And it's like, what's about to happen? She comes toward Dre, and it's Marissa's face. And so Dre is asked to sing something for the audience. And it was weird because I was like, oh yeah, Dre's about to sing. But Dre was just like, I love you all, and we didn't hear any singing. I thought it would have been cool if they was just like, if you're going to imagine this as the ending, go there all the way. So then they have Dre come down. No, 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 no. Niger takes Dre down through the paparazzi and is sitting with her in the back car and just lets Dre cry on her. And I was like, what is this ending? That ending was so crazy, y'all. I'm like, so it was clearly a part of her imagination. It was clearly a part of her imagination because we found out in the episode before that she got caught rushing the stage and is probably sitting in a jail cell. I loved it, y'all. I love the nuances. I love the conversations around black community and black trauma. I love the outfits. Domonique Fishback looked good. I love the music. I loved making fun of the beehive. Like, y'all, it just was so new. And I love stuff like that. Shout out to Donna Glover. Shout out to Janine Nabirs. And definitely shout out to Domonique Fishback. Domonique was the MVP of this series. So I'm excited. Please let me know your comments down below. Did you think this show was too much? Did you think the murder was too much? Did you think it wasn't funny? Did you think it was hilarious? All right, y'all. That's it for me. I'll see you next time.